hope the sun's shining for you too, wherever you are. Kimono. I don't know if you have the Japanese flavor as your thing, but it's got a lot of sophistication in a sort of sensual sense, because you could just imagine the silks in it. Pink satin, delicate cups, bone china. You can imagine, I wanted to get the image almost of a soft pink fingernail holding a cup delicately. Why? Because Chassidus talks about the difference between a garment and a vessel. And I have to find words that are going to resonate with that. So the idea of haiku is to be able to express things through images, ideas through images, as opposed to ideas through sentences. It's a bit Zen, right? You get it through painting the fence. That's how you become a karate master, or plug it in the matrix, and then you could bend spoons. So I wanted this contrast between very soft fabric and then bone china, which is a vessel. But it might not even be a good idea, that image, because in Chassidus, the difference between, there's two types of relationships God has with the world. One is like a garment. Okay, that's my pink satin. That's the kimono. And one is like eris v'kelim, light and vessel. So maybe perhaps wrongly, a delicate vessel. Okay, delicate cups. That is the idea, actually, because the analogy in Chassidus is an eyeball, which is a very delicate organ. It even talks about how it's transparent to show that the function, that it's prepared to do its function. The eyeball is designed in a certain way to have the power of the soul, which is to be able to see. So it's like an interface with the physical world is through the eyeball. That's why it's transparent. It's designed for that. You can't take your nose and see through your nose. I have funny ideas like Pepsi commercials. Okay, whatever. That's 30 years ago. Forgive me. I'm only human. 30 years ago. Now we can. Good morning. Now we don't have the luxury to be that way anymore. So you have when we talk about vessels in Chassidus, we don't mean like a steel pan or something like that, so much as like the most sensitive organ of the body, the eyeball. Don't let the KGB get near your eyeball. The apple of my eye. We have that expression. I don't know what it means. Do you have apples in your eye? I don't know. I guess that's the apple is in Hebrew, actually. The tapuach is the shape of the pomegranate. No. Tapuach, it means like a globe. It's almost it's synonymous with a globe. A tapuach on the mizbeach. There was an apple shape on the altar. But the Rambam describes the pomegranates as an apple shape, I believe. Okay, so the two things are related. It's like around. The apple of my eye. So the eyeball is a very delicate vessel. It contains a very sensitive function. So they have to have some relationship one to the other. The power of sight is associated with the eyeball. So the soul is able to communicate, interface with the body that way. There's a relationship that's more extreme than that, which is the way a person puts on a garment. You could throw off the garment, put it on the floor, the garment exists and you are separate. Whereas you take away the life force that entered the soul of the eyeball and the rest of the body, and decomposes. Because they're close, they're closely knitted, they depend on each other. Ava tluya b'davar. I was thinking about the difference between Ava tluya b'davar, that's Amnon and Tamar, and Ava shayina tluya b'davar, that's not dependent. It says in Pirkei Avos, a love that's not dependent on something else. There's no like ulterior motive there. True love is between David and Yonasan, which are two men, specifically two men, to show that they don't have any personal vested interest in each other. They're just. So it's not tluya davar, it's actually a love that shows there's no ulterior motive because it was actually against any benefit to each other for them to be friends, on pain of death. From Shaul, Yonasan's father. So that's a model of love. This is a total side point, but I just wanted to get this idea out. That's a model for love that's specifically ava ain't a tluya. It's not dependent. It's not. There's no ulterior motives. But there's another model of love that's different than that, and that's the mimer that I'm going crazy about. Kinar Yisrael Aveyu. It's the model of love, and in the Zayar says the model of love is there's no love like the love of a child. So why didn't they in Pirkei Avos do that? What is it? What's the difference here? It contrasts love of a child in this mimer with love of one's own child. I saw a horrible video. I don't like talking about negative things, but someone sent it to me, and I said, what do people send around all these things? What is it? So they had one with, like, I don't know, some kind of foreign person, but he looked like he could have been in America. I don't know where. I think he's speaking a different language. I don't want to say which. And he's treating his, like, 6-month-old child so horribly that I can't describe it. But I didn't know this child. But anybody has sensitivity to the way a child's being treated. Everybody loves anyone's child. If not, they're not human. Right? Does anyone there have love of a child in a wholesome, proper way that's supposed to be called an ava atzmis in this mimer? That's a true love? So why do we have two different models for love? Pirkei Avos says it's Yonasan and David. David and Yonasan. That's the model of true love, a fraternity that's ain't a tzli b'davar. There was no ulterior motive. But this is a different type of concept. So what are we distinguishing it from? We're distinguishing from a love that's of one's own child, which is they have connection to you, they're shaykh to you, so it's really love of self. It's the model for ava hachizeres al atzmai, the way love comes back to a person. It's reciprocal. You end up having ayavas atzmai. It's a love of self. So the flip side of that is love of a child that does not belong to you, not your child. Adoption, I guess, is like the model for that, but that's just like the extreme expression of love of a child that's not yours. And that's the type of love that's spoken about here as the model for love. So what's the difference between tluya b'davar that's not an ulterior motive, or it's not selfish? Tluya b'davar means it's not real love. There's no love there. It's the other thing. It's the ulterior thing. That's what you love. What is Amnon and Tamar? What did they want? Something that's very fleeting. Once that was gone, no more love. And specifically to men, to be the model of love there, to contrast it with a selfish type of not love. Okay? So you have real love, genuine love, where there's not an ulterior motive, and then love that is not really love. There's an ulterior motive, so it's not love itself, it's love of something else, which was fleeting and therefore departed. What? It's because it says that if it's not to leave with them, that's gonna last, right? Doesn't it say that? Look it up. So I think it does. So here I want to contrast. So maybe each one's a model for these two types of the way God shows love for the Jewish people. There's a nah, there's a camaraderie. So the camaraderie, there's two aspects of a Jew. The Torah speaks about in this Maimar. There's a Jew, there's Yisrael Saba, like the granddaddy Jew. That's expressed in the pasuk Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Okay, I think the Zayar says that. And then there's the love of a child, Ki Nar Yisrael Aveyu. So there's a Nar Yisrael, there's a Yisrael Saba, or there's Nar Yisrael. And those two levels exist in the highest godly realm to show that it's an essential relationship at both levels. And specifically, the Medrash brings that a king who has many children, he loves the youngest the most. That brings out the essence, and what it does is me'erer umamshich ha'ava atzmis, a love. A child draws out an inherent core love to the child. That's what a child does, even if you're not related to it. So this is a love that's not avas atzma. That's what the point of this mimer is to bring out, that it's a selfless love. And it's therefore inherent to a person. It's a real love. It's the deepest kind of love. It calls it the most pneumistic love. It's higher than the levels of Ava Rabov and Ava Selam. I should say those in reverse order, the way it appears in the mimer. You talk about love in the 8th of October. Hagas or Chabad. This mimer was hidden away for 50 years. It was in a treasure chest. The Rebbe finally revealed it to the world. Why? Because the Rebbe says on his mission statement in Basadagani, he gives out everything to the foot soldiers. Everything, the deepest secrets of the Torah, the most intimate. It says it was, what did the Rebbe, I just translated the thing. I haven't posted it yet. I just wanted to think of the right word to express it. That it's not fit that these ideas, the Rebbe calls it fantastical. That's the way I translated it. The Rebbe Rishab said such fantastical things. I put in quotation marks because I don't want it to mean like it's not true. It's just beyond, the Rebbe says there, beyond the pale of what he speaks about. And what is it? It's encoded in very deep metaphysical, philosophical ideas. So I'm trying to bring it down for you because I want everyone to be able to celebrate this. That's the whole point of Chassidus. If it's talking about things that you don't relate to, say, if you can't make those tangible, why is love a secret? Oh my goodness. I have this essay from Rabbi Chaim Miller on why Kabbalah was kept secret and why in Chabad it became taboo to learn it. He doesn't use the word taboo, I don't think. He brings all the sources. It's amazing. He did a lot of research there. It's incredible. Look it up. It's a slightly different topic. I really have to stay focused on these things. I promised everyone, Bli Nader, that I would answer their points from last time because I just couldn't even focus on all the words on the screen, which is good. It's very good. But I'm supposed to give these 10-minute segments now, okay? Because that's where the agent orders. The manager. I don't know. People sometimes share their wisdom with me. So I think the whole core of this mimer, I gave another thing that's the core, which means the power to do everything. But the core idea that's underlying this powerful treasure chest of secrets of the Torah is the difference between a delicate vessel and a garment that you could just throw off. Why? Because underlying that is a very deep secret that Sefer Yetzirah is big on. Niutz tchilasam b'seifim seifim b'tchilasam. That in the largest extreme, in the yin yang, if you want to just speak, you want to go with the Japanese theme, the whole video. In the extremes, okay, William Blake said in the extremes, that's where wisdom is at. Look it up. That's where always the deepest secret, in Chassidus it says the essence is revealed there. So if you want to talk about the essence, if you want to, you dive into God and not to his qualities. So you want to get to the essence of God in prayer. And prayer is the ultimate expression of our intimacy with God. So how do you relate to God in the most intimate way? That's with the essence of God. And where is that possible? In the greatest extreme. Only with the very essence of God, which is the one force in the universe that can create ex nihilo, something from nothing. Yesh ma'ayin. The only thing that allows that, the very essence of God. So the physical things that you interact with. That's where you're able to comprehend Atzmos through. I want to speak about that on every single level. That will take me a lot of time. I hope I don't leave that topic. I say that often. Yesterday I spoke about a visualization that we learned from Nachum Chernobyler. Okay, that he didn't see anything that didn't pertain to him. That is not necessary. He just didn't see it. Didn't exist. If it's inappropriate, didn't exist. So I was saying, what's the flip side of that? A flaming sword angel, not there to stand in your way, but to guide and blaze a path for you and light up your path. The clarity of that kind of vision from God, but also a deep connection, knowing that God's your bestie, that God is your father, God is... So, okay, I got an important call, and it's I'm supposed to be in the office. I would go on for hours anyway, so I was trying to keep them short, so that's what it's going to be. I'm going to call this person back. So have a great Shabbos, everyone. Okay, did I finish the topic? No. But I think think about the image, okay? The difference between a fine vessel that, can decompose okay, I have to speak a lot more about that. There's a lot, because this mimer didn't... I'm going to go through this mimer. I think I want to learn it inside with everyone. Okay, we'll try. Have a great Shabbos, everyone.